People, top 14 finals. It's confirmed. Toulouse, Bordeaux, things are just about to go crazy. Final game of the year in a long, hard fought top 14 season where everything is now coming down to this game. These two teams, both teams have been consistently dominant throughout the entire season. They've beat some of the best in the division to get where they are. We've seen Bordeaux win the Champions Cup. French rugby is some of the best heavy hitting, fast paced rugby you are going to be seeing. We've seen how quick they are all at the rucks. And if you ever want to watch interesting, fast flowing rugby, watch the top 14 people. Toulouse and Bordeaux are two of the best when it comes to dominating rucks, using their face play to keep the game running smoothly, keeping that tempo through the game consistently. And I want to break down this game because we are talking two giants of rugby globally in terms of club rugby, right? Toulouse being Toulouse, having some of the best players in world rugby. Bordeaux they aren't necessarily known as a team that will just splash the cash on everything. They actually got a relatively low wage bill, but the players that they have at their squad available to them is ridiculous, right? So props on how that they've been building and developing Bordeaux into the giant of rugby that they are now. And I haven't been to Bordeaux, but everything I've heard about it and the fan base for Bordeaux is ridiculous. Like, people are going there in the tens of thousands, die-hard fans that are there. And hopefully I can catch a couple of you fans here because I think this is going to be a pretty good video. I want to break down this game because this is just going to be pure fire between two monsters of French rugby, right? So when we break down this game, I think there's going to be a couple key matchups. We're going to have the second row battle. We're going to have the halfbacks. We're going to have how the game is going to be contested at the breakdown, and then forward dominance, right? So looking at both squads, there's a couple different bits, right? So first up, let's break down that second row battle because we are going to be having players like Kezo. You have players like Miafal for Toulouse. We have Thibaut Flamand. We have Johnny Gray. We have Petty. Talent. Like, we are more than likely going to be seeing the physical brawl. The lineouts are going to be so crucial because, whoever is able to dominate the lineouts, get the ball in, working through their maul, they're more than likely going to want to push for that maul, start walking more. Then you're going to have a player like Maxime Lucu, who's just going to start distributing that ball nice and easy. Jalibert, who's just going to work his magic. He's going to play those little balls over the top. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard on this Toulouse side to keep up. That lock battle, the second row is just going to be fought so physically. And I think this will more than likely, whoever's going to come out on top here is going to control the dominance, right? Big players call for big moments. And these big moments are going to be where the game is going to be won and lost. You look at the halfback influence, you have players like Graou and Graou Ntamack. Unfortunately, no Antoine Dupont, who's still out injured. I'm hoping we will get to see him play for France later on in the year, but big final, he's not gonna be available to play, which is horrible to see. But Graou has been playing pretty damn well. You look at the last game up against Bayonne, he played well. We look at through the season, his actual general quality, his ability is on point. But Graou Ntamack, his ability to not only play those sneaky little balls, those little grubbers, those little second moment passes, and then also his ability to completely fool everybody and then break on in the inside. And he's got the pace to be able to beat quite a few backs as well. So, he's got a little bit of everything. This is why the Dupont and Ntamack partnership is so scary But I do feel in a moment and in a game like this, Dupont's game management, his player management, his time management, and his tempo management is crucial for this game. Because the one thing that Bordeaux have over Toulouse is that 9. Because Lucu, we saw it in France, we saw it throughout the entire season, that tempo that he keeps, his ability on the ball, off the ball, his ability to be at the right place at the right time. I am a very, very big fan of Toulouse. So yeah, of Maxime Lucu and of Bordeaux. So yes, I am going to be kissing his backside a little bit because I love the way the guy plays. He was such an underrated player. Maybe not necessarily in France, but around the world from everybody that I've spoken to, and especially when you have a player like Antoine Dupont, everybody went nuts when Dupont got injured, and they're like, "How are we going to do this?" Maxime Lucu, hold my beer, and after that Champions Cup final, I think he had a little bit too many beers, but yeah, he's ridiculous, right? But then you also have the likes of Carberry who can come on in and just cause absolute, havoc as well. So it's this game is going to be run so fast, so quick. We're going to be seeing such quick play, such quick phase play that I think it's really going to come down to who is going to force more errors, right? Who's going to force more errors on each other, gain that dominance, gain the territory, and then that 22 work. Both teams are scary when it comes down to that. Because again, you look at the breakdown, you have Kroos, you have Jacques Willis, ridiculous. Bordeaux's back row is monstrous as well. Like, absolutely monstrous. I mean, you have players like Gazzotti, you have players like Samu. Pete Samu is scary good at 8. Scary good. Bocaton as well. Scary. But Toulouse are no joke, people. Toulouse are no joke. Gelon, Willis, Kroos. It's hard to decide who's going to come out on top here, right? Who can potentially come out on top? It's going to come down to the game. It's going to come down to who can force more errors on each other, right? And then in terms of the forwards, you have Lemouth, who, if he puts in another performance like he did up against Toulon, Toulouse had better be worried. They'd better be scared because Mr. Twinkletoes over here seems like he wants to play as a back and he wants to start breaking the gain line and he wants to start scoring tries, it seems, because he's coming off of a hat trick. But then you have Tamiafuna, who's just an absolute beast. Who wants to have that brick wall running at you? Like, seriously, that's not fun. That's scary. That is really scary. But Toulouse do have Julien Marchand, Netty, Aldegeri. This is so hard. Because then they have Cramont. They have Cyril Baillet. Cyril Baillet, he started on the bench for the Bayonne game. Merkler. Like, seriously, people. What is this? The talent is ridiculous. It is scary good. Because then Bordeaux also have Mathis Perchot. They also have, what is it? Taufa. Tomakino Taufa. Ridiculous. Like, ridiculous people. So, honestly, look, Toulouse, they are elite when it comes to their set piece and their breakdown work. I think they are statistically the strongest and most clinical in terms of attack and defense throughout, which is why they dominated through the season. And their firepower in their backs is ridiculous. Plus, Thomas Ramos kicking. Watch the last game. Thomas Ramos' kicking is on fire. The best. I dare to say it. The best 15 in world rugby. Can play as a 10 as well. His kicking game is on point. He is scary. That guy wins you games by himself. he wins you games by himself. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel Bordeaux, they physicality wise, I think it's equal. Psychologically, though, Bordeaux going into this game, having won the Champions Cup, having gone through Toulon, having gone through the recent success that they've had in terms of games, um, and I believe they're also unbeaten versus Toulouse this season. Because I think it was, yeah, I think they're unbeaten against Toulouse this season. So the momentum from the Champions Cup win, the second row dominance, and that forward strength, I think it's going to be good. But in terms of the bench, if anything is to happen to that first team squad, things could go sour really, really quick, really, really quickly. And also we got to take into consideration overconfidence as well, because there's one thing to go in with momentum and have everything go your way, but when it comes down to the crunching you up against Toulouse on the day, they have to stay disciplined, because Jacques Willis will happily make your life a living nightmare. He will make your life a living nightmare. And Kroos as well. They're going to force you to make so many errors. They're going to put you in so much pain. They're going to be hitting you so hard. They're going to be so far up your backside, you're going to think that they're a part of you. I don't know. I think the second row is going to come so key as to who's going to win, who's going to be able to move that ball out quicker off the set pieces, and the scrum dominance. I think this is where things are really, really going to seal the game. And then having that control over the set pieces, and then forcing the errors, having those back rows really force the errors, force as many unnecessary silly errors as well, putting the pressure on, getting into their heads and getting them to mess up. This is for both sides. I think this is where it really, really needs to be settled. And personally, I feel Bordeaux is going to come through with a win. Right? I truly do feel that they are going to come through with a win. I feel Maxime Lucu Jalibert is going to keep that. They're going to keep that possession. They're going to keep that territory. They're going to keep that kicking game going. We're going to be seeing Damien Penaud have a brilliant game. I think he's going to bang himself a couple tries. They're going to be able to keep that momentum going throughout the game. Toulouse are going to knock them hard, and they're going to try and break that rhythm, break that flow. But I feel Bordeaux will just have a little bit too much for them. They're going to be a little bit too fast, and I think Toulouse might crack under the pressure. I think they might just break under that pressure. So honestly, I'm expecting Bordeaux to win by 6 to maybe 10 points, controlling the territory, controlling the game flow. And I think they'll likely finish mid 20 points. So we're potentially looking 27-17, a win, between 6 and 10 points win. I think they're going to limit Toulouse to scoring penalties. I think they're going to keep them out, might concede a try, maybe two, but ultimately keeping them down to penalties as their main source of points. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm probably going to go up against a whole bunch of Toulouse hate. I love Toulouse. If any of you guys get to the end of this video, I love Toulouse. I love Bordeaux. I'm a big fan of both of them. But just gut feeling, I have Bordeaux to win. And that's just pure gut feeling. Looking at stats, looking at past games, looking at confidence, looking at momentum, looking at the performance that they put in the Champions Cup finals, I feel Bordeaux will handle the pressure just a little bit better, considering the hassle and struggle that they went through this year. And Toulouse being without Antoine Dupont is a big, big thing. Yes, they haven't necessarily been that affected by it, but kicked out of the Champions Cup. And I think they are going to lose the top 14 as well, even though they led the top 14 for a vast majority of the season. So let me know what your thoughts are. Comment section below. Please like and subscribe. And catch you guys in the next one. Bye.